You're listening to the Here for the Clout podcast. Here are your hosts, Sherilyn Dale and Cece Suarez. Yeah, baby.
Hello, Clout Kings, Queens, and in-betweens. You're listening to Here for the Clout. I am Sherilyn, and this is my co-host, Chelsea. Hi.
Hello.
We're back with another theme episode and an evening recording, which I think everybody was on board last episode, liking the vibe. The more, it's not first thing in the morning. We don't have like a laundry list of shit to do. This is the last point of the day where we just get to like hang out and talk about the rabbit holes that we've gotten into on TikTok usually right now lately.
Yeah, it's a shit show over there, but it definitely is the vibe of, like, it's not work. I mean, obviously it is, but it's giving margs and unlimited chips and queso, as one of our subscribers said one time in the comment section, and I could not agree more. This is like my girls' night, basically. This is my friend time with, you know, you and me and thems.
And you. Yeah, I know. I love it. We usually film on Tuesday. Yesterday, we pushed it back to today. And I like woke up and I was just like, I'm so excited for the day to be over because I miss Chelsea so much.
Same.
So we missed you guys too. Today we are talking my God, I have so much. I've been telling Chelsea, I'm like, wait until you see and hear what the hell is going on. This is intense. This is a lot. I also want to put like a little bit of a disclaimer. We're going to get a lot of emotions going on. We kind of have to pull those back until we hear like the very end of the story because this thing just keeps unfolding and evolving, and it's going to be very easy to get extremely mad about the main woman that we're going to be talking about. But we're going to hear different sides from different players that are coming in. I know this doesn't make sense right now, but it will when we go through.
So you want me to support women's rights and women's wrongs. And, you know, that's what we do on this channel.
We do. So not necessarily, no, because we're not giving a pass here. It's just once we get to that point in the story, we're going to understand why, like, maybe this is potentially a really dangerous situation. Still does not excuse any of the things that we are going to be talking about whatsoever. So that's just kind of what I want to lead with. But we're talking about a mistress situation that's going on TikTok right now. And so we're channeling Death Becomes Her. And this Death Becomes... Okay, you guys. Oh my God. Chelsea hasn't seen Death Becomes Her.
Which is surprising.
It is surprising.
I know.
That's okay.
Yeah, especially because you and my sister are like the same person and love all the same stuff. So like...
So does she want to join the podcast?
Oh, wait, don't, because you know she will. Have you ever watched a movie? We now have this inside joke with me and her and anyone she speaks to. She keeps bringing up the movie Short Circuit. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, with the little robot and Steve Goldblum.
Yes.
I don't really remember it, but I remember like being young and seeing it.
Yeah, I guess she like rewatched it and she's like making her kids rewatch like all these movies. And I guess Short Circuit 1 and 2 were on the list, and she just kept talking about it. And finally she tried to tell me that that was her husband's favorite movie, and I was like, no, it's not. There's no way. Like,
that's his favorite movie.
No, I was like, Will's cultured, like, no. And we were on vacation and he walked past us and he goes, "Are you telling more people that my favorite movie is Short Circuit? That movie sucks." And she's like, don't talk about it like that. And it's hilarious. Now she tells everyone about it. And she's like, "Hey, let me tell you about this movie called Short Circuit."
Okay, now I kind of have to like go back and rewatch it maybe. I do know which one she's talking about. Okay, so I'm going to assume that she knows and loves Death Becomes Her. And yes. I know you will too. Once you watch it, you're gonna watch it. But anyway, so the premise of the movie though is kind of a little bit like what we're gonna talk about today, because like Goldie Hawn was originally with Bruce Willis, and then Meryl Streep goes in and takes him from her, and she knew it was going to happen, and then her life falls apart, but then she, you know, takes this potion and then gets all hot again, and then like goes back into the picture, and then they plan on like taking out Meryl Streep. So that is kind of what we're following today, and the costumes are fitting. So that's what I'm leading with. That's what I'm starting with.
R.I.P. Bruce Willis. You would have loved this.
He's still alive.
I know he's not dead yet.
But yeah, he's, aw.
He's getting there. So sad, right? Aphasia. That's like my worst fear.
Literally my worst fear. Like oh my God. I know I was watching it not that long ago, and it was actually really sad to rewatch it like after finding that out, because I was just like, yeah, Bruce Willis. Okay.
But I love that his not new wife, but his current wife and like Demi Moore has been so involved and like so helpful, and it like,
I love those moments.
That makes me so I'll cry right now.
I know, I get too involved. I'm like, okay, you guys are still a part of each other. Like, I know, I get like way too involved and act like I'm like a part of the family and also going to be going there for Thanksgiving.
Well, yes. But that's who she was the inspiration for my maternity photo shoot. We'll insert a picture here of me looking hot as fuck and naked and pregnant. Actually, maybe we won't, because then we'll get demonetized, because I'm literally naked in that picture and you can see my full butt.
Yeah, and they're really coming.
So we won't do that.
They're really coming for us. Okay, let's start this, okay? So picture this, all right?
I'm so ready. Tell me.
You're married to a man. You're living your life.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, okay. No. Tony would never. Okay. You're living your life. You have a stepson through this marriage that you care for. In fact, you have troubles conceiving, so this child has, pretty much become your child. You come home from dropping this child off at school, and you find a woman in your driveway. She approaches you and asks if you can talk. You say, I don't know. She goes on to say that your husband and her have been having an affair. She's pregnant. They're in love. So they're going to forge on with the relationship. So you excuse yourself, go inside, talk to the husband. He admits it. You go to TikTok to share your experiences and, the grief process, but you never share the mistress's name, the husband's name, not reading them to filth, like just like very, oh my God, I don't even know, like too mature for me. Good for you. Just going through the motions and like explaining like what this grief process is. So right away you move to your mother's house, all right? You want to work on your marriage because the husband is just like pleading to give you another chance. You go to counseling. This goes on for like a couple months. And the day before you are supposed to move back into the house, your husband messages you and says, sorry, I've been stringing you along. We are done. Come get the rest of your things. And blocks your number.
Murder, homicide. Absolutely homicide.
Yeah. So when you go to pick up the rest of your things, you see that the mistress has already got like a lot of her things there and is like setting up shop. You move out, begin moving on with your life without your husband. And
do I own this home? I have so many questions.
You don't. You don't own the home.
God damn.
And then you're moving on, and all of a sudden, your husband and the mistress start a TikTok series, kind of like a Risa Tisa style, exposing themselves to try to get their side out there and gain sympathy, okay? So this is what a woman named Marissa is living through and has been since May. Just a note. Marissa's TikTok is private. There's a reason for that. She has like quite a hefty following, but we'll get into a little bit why later. And anyways, as the story unfolds, it turns out that this is not the only pregnant mistress. This is also not the only time that Bill, our husband, has done this. And so, like I said, I want you to keep that in mind when we watch this series and we see all dirty Bill and pregnant mistress Ashley, what they've put out there, okay?
Of course her name's Ashley.
You guys, this gets insane. Okay, so
I like how I say that, like, Ashley. That's my dad's name.
I like that.
Yeah, that's my dad's and oldest brother's names. Like, and it was a guy's name first. Okay, it is androgynous, you guys.
Oh, I love Ashley for a guy like Gone with the Wind. Ashley, like in Gone with the Wind. Oh,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, that racist movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Oof,
don't like for that, but yes, love the character. That was the first time I think I had ever heard that name. Okay, so Mistress Part 1.
Hey everyone. So I'd like to start out this video just by saying that I wouldn't typically choose to take my private life and make it public, especially not on a forum like TikTok, for entertainment's sake. However, 6 months ago, Marissa Henderson decided to take some elements of her private life and make it public, and drug me and people I love and care about into it. So to be...
Sorry, pause. You guys remember,
This is the mistress.
this is the mistress. Marissa,
This ain't-
the wife, did not say their names, didn't anything. Like, this is just, they are coming out here and they're like, oh, because she talked about an experience, didn't say anybody's name on TikTok. 6 months later, they're deciding it's their turn to talk. Sorry.
Girl,
Yeah.
they're accusing her of being a clout goblin.
I know. But she's not.
That is
She's not.
this dirty bitch. That is insane.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, this is the
And
mistress.
she-
This isn't, sorry if I didn't make that
I know,
clear,
I
you guys.
hate it.
Yeah, it gets bad. Kate, buckle up, because you're going to rage.
took to TikTok saying that she was cornered in her driveway by her husband's mistress, and the mistress was telling her that she was pregnant. I am that mistress, and I am pregnant with her husband's child.
Was that a third boob? What was that?
Coming on here because
Ugh.
I think it's important to tell the truth, and a lot of what she said just was her perspective largely, but a lot of it was skewed, a lot of things were
What?
left out, and some things just weren't true.
I cannot.
So I'll be doing a series of videos in which I look back, give some context, give some of my own
Jesus.
just perspective on the entire situation.
No one asked for it.
I think it's really
Okay.
important through all of this to remember that love is messy and it's hard and life is hard, and that you're not going to find any villains or angels in this story. You're not going to find good guys and bad guys or black and white. Life is a whole lot of shades of gray, and I can tell you that nothing that I ever did or that her husband ever did was with malice or hurt or the intention to hurt.
Okay, so that was part one.
I mean, can that be the only part? Because like what is, she's delusional. What does this, I don't know if she's delusional or just dumb. Ashley, listen. Girl, are you listening? Open your ears. I don't know if you're just delusional or dumb, but what do you mean there are no good guys and bad guys? We're not playing cops and robbers here. There's ethical and unethical. Of course, there's gonna be black and, gray areas in relationships and in life in general. No shit. You really thought you ate with this one?
Yeah, the speech.
It's like, what? And the dramatic pauses? Did you write a script? Her cadence? Like, what in the community theater? What's going on here? What's happening? I need a refund. This is horrible. Why'd you make me do this?
It gets worse, babe.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go to Mistress 1.5 in our folder.
The one titled on screen that says The Pregnant Mistress Part 1.
Yes, that one.
Hey everyone. So for those of you who didn't see my other video, this is going to be the first video in a series where I give my perspective on being a pregnant mistress, basically. These videos are in response to a series of videos done by somebody else who was the wife of...
Take two. She brings out one of our customized clapboards we're sending people. Take two. Okay, pregnant dumb bitch. Let's go.
Sorry, guys.
So this first video, I just want to go ahead and give some background story about my life a little bit and how mine and Bill's relationship started.
No one cares.
And
Of course, his name is Bill.
kind of what the history
Ugh.
is there. Just to kind of give everybody a little bit of perspective. So first, before I say any of that, I'd like to say that I'm not here to change everybody's mind about, you know, infidelity or, you know, whether or not, and I'm certainly not here to advocate getting involved with somebody who's married. You know, I definitely don't recommend that.
Yeah.
If, you know, you can avoid it. But I also do want to kind of remind everybody, like, we're all human and we all
Much better.
are imperfect. And I just think it's really important to be kind and gentle with each other. I also think it's important that to get...
Like, you were kind and gentle with Bill's penis when y'all were having an affair, because what? Girl.
When Miranda
there's
was just
no-
like dropping off his son and just, you know, like taking on all the like motherly and wifely duties of life.
Well, first of all, her name's Marissa, isn't it? Or is it Miranda?
Marissa.
Oh, you said Miranda.
Oh, sorry.
Is it because I look like Miranda Priestley?
Who's Miranda Priestley?
I don't.
Do I know?
From The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, God, yes. Okay, sorry. Ooh.
Do I know her? I don't know. Do you?
Do we know them?
Yeah, so we do.
We do.
But why does this girl think that there's going to be some like magical story she could tell us that is going to make this sound better? Also, get on with it, lady.
I know. I'm glad we're increasing the speed. But no, there's a purpose that I'm putting everybody through this for. Okay, so let's just hang on.
Girl, I might have to like take a break and refill my wine because I'm going to die.
Yeah.
all sides of the story out there. I wouldn't typically choose to share it, but since it was already kind of shared for me, I decided to put my side out there.
Remember,
So
no one
let's get
said
into
any
it.
names.
So Bill and I met when I was 24 and he was 26. So to kind of put that in context, I'm 37 now and he will be 39 next month. So we've known each other for a really long time. We met and we started dating. We hit it off right away. We were obviously a lot younger, but we, kind of fell in love really quickly. A lot of life stuff happened, and we ended up kind of dating on and off for the next couple of years. And then we had a long distance relationship when he and Marissa met. I was actually in prison. And no, I didn't do anything violent or anything like that. And I will go into like kind of my...
Did she say we had a long distance relationship because I was in prison? That was right? Okay. Carry on.
That, and I mean this with peace and love, that's diabolical.
When I was I was in prison
hilarious.
and he met Marissa, and then we carried on a long distance relationship.
I just love that she's like, some life stuff happened. Is the life stuff that you went to prison and that he moved on and got married but still talked to you? Like, are those the life things?
Yeah, they are. Sorry.
And so, of course, he ended things with me and he was with her, and they were married. And so I moved on with my life. I got out of prison, rebuilt my life, that kind of thing. And then, Bill reached out to me about a year ago now. And we started to talk, and I realized for me, there was still a lot of feelings there. And I believe that's, what he realized too. He and I have always had a very deep connection. And I think that, in all this, it's really important to remember that I never went into this with the intention of hurting anybody. And honestly, initially, I had no plans of entering into a relationship with him. One thing that has always been really special about our relationship is we were always really good friends, as well as lovers. So I think that makes any breakup really hard, and kind of separating yourself from the person difficult. I'm not going to sit here and justify, what I did or what happened.
I'm not going to sit here and justify what I did or what happened, but I have been talking for 4 minutes, trying to minimize and justify what has happened. Like, what?
What are you talking about, Ashley?
I just love that she's like, I didn't try to hurt anybody. But you did. It doesn't mean if that was like you didn't care if you hurt anybody.
No.
That's not what?
Yeah.
Listen, she has been prefacing like everything and given us like 5 little tidbits of information, and we're 4 minutes into it, and I want to throw my phone across the room. I despise her.
I know. Yeah, the nude's almost done because
However, I will say that when Bill and I started spending time together, he was very, very lonely. And I offered him friendship, somebody to talk to. And it went from there. I don't think that people ever, who end up in this kind of situation ever enter into it with these, ill intentions. And I won't say that I went into this looking to be some sort of homewrecker or with this insane jealousy and wanting to take over her life or something, because that's just simply not true. It just doesn't work that way. And like I said before, love is hard and it's messy, and sometimes things happen and we just kind of have to make the best of them. But in no way am I perfect. In no way have I made perfect choices in my life or in this situation. However, I never wanted to intentionally hurt anybody.
We heard it, Ashley.
So I think that's really important to remember. That's part 1 of the saga, and the next video I'm just going to cover kind of
how I didn't want to hurt anybody.
I came to quote unquote corner her in her driveway, which is not really what happened, but I understand that that's how she felt. But and kind of where things went from there.
Wow, Ashley Evans, thanks for no information whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay. So part 2, buckle up, you guys, because we're gonna hear from Bill.
What do I think Bill's gonna look like?
Bill is going to, everybody close your eyes. No, Bill's not on the screen yet, but exactly how you picture Bill, that's Bill. I'd like actually everybody to just go in the comments right now, pause, or not even pause, just go in the comments, close your eyes and say, I think Bill looks like, and put it in. And I want to see how accurate everybody is, because I think that there's going to be a lot of people who already know what Bill's all about.
I really hope that Bill looks like that one guy who has no neck from 90 Day Fiancé. What's that guy's name?
Ed.
No neck Larry. Ed. No neck Ed. Yeah. Big Ed.
Big Ed. Okay.
Big.
He doesn't, but same vibe. Doesn't look like him, but once you see Bill, you're going to know that this is even more perfect for Bill.
Oh my God. Bill, what is that facial hair? Does it grow in all white trashy like that? Or is that the special? It's yikes.
Is that intentional?
Looking like Joe Dirt.
This is Bill Turris. You guys know me better as Marissa Henderson's husband.
Again, no one knows you as anything because she didn't say your name.
Kind of what's led us up to this point. So, having already read some of the comments, some things that I'll just kind of head off at the pass now is what you're not going to hear from me is me ever saying that me having an affair wasn't my fault or that it wasn't wrong, because it was. However, in that, it's easy to place blame when you've only heard half of the story, when the other person hasn't told any of their shortcomings, how they've had an affair, how they've essentially jerked around my son, who's 8, and in all of this, frankly, is the only truly innocent party in all of this. And that's really what spurred me to make these videos, because for months now, Marissa's gone on here and talked about how she desperately wanted a relationship with him. She's very good at...
You know what the most offensive thing about this is, other than the sign behind him that says good night, because you know that they got a live, laugh, love sign in that house. But no offense, Marissa. But also the facial hair, the mouth noises. Bilbert, may I call you Bilbert? You need to go get a drink of water, because this is offensive and I hate it. Like, the internet's forever. What are these people doing?
And this is the thing that I want to stress, you guys. Like, even though Marissa's TikTok is private right now, I had been seeing some of her stuff like since May, and I thought like, girl, are you okay? Because you're too okay. Like, I was just waiting for her to, like, pop the F off, and then we were going to hear about something in the news or something like that, because she's just, like, so calm, composed, respectful. And the audacity of him to say that he got on there and he's doing this because of her, like, his son. He's basically saying like she's, like, ghosting him. First of all, we're gonna find out later, like, that's not the case. Like, it's just manipulation. Like, you dirty little weasel, what are you talking about? He's just
He's giving, oh, you don't want to go out with me? Well, you're ugly anyways.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Very much so. So, see, yeah, like, big Ed energy, but, like, not the height size. But yes. All right. Fucking Q Bill.
Getting people on her side. And I don't believe, I don't blame anybody for being on her side. Having heard her side of all this, and only her side, there's no reason for you guys not to believe what she said. Some of it is totally true. I had an affair. But there's just a lot of details that have been left out. And like I said, what I did wasn't right. It doesn't excuse her having an affair. It doesn't excuse me doing it. But it's easy to kind of paint somebody as a bad guy and then vaguely make comments like, well, of course I wasn't perfect, because nobody is. And I also understand, with primarily women viewing her videos, that a lot of people can put themselves in her shoes, and feel that way.
Yep. Yeah, Bill.
So going forward, probably tomorrow, I'm going to first just tell the backstory of kind of what led us up to me reaching out to Ashley and kind of going down that road.
You know what's wild is the TikTokification of social media. So don't get me wrong, this lady's got more followers than I'm pretty sure me and you combined on there. Also, TikTok's spooky and I'm too old for it. But it's, as we've talked about before, and Robert Welsh has validated this, and he's even said it too. It's so much easier to gain a massive following on TikTok. It's so much easier to get over 1 million followers on TikTok than it is to hit 100,000 on YouTube.
100%.
Yes,
Not even
we've
close.
Talked about that exactly. Yeah. We've talked about that so much, and her seeing her page and seeing how many followers she has. Like, when you sent it to me, I was like, oh, she does have a good amount. Like, that's weird. I thought this was just, like, a random person. But in reality,
that was Marissa. Yeah, Marissa.
Yes. Yeah. But in reality, it is just a random person. Yeah. So what are they doing? Like,
we don't know. We
literally probably forgot.
Thank you.
People probably forgot about this.
They did. Because, again, TikTok, like, something new every day. There's, like, for example, on Sunday, I messaged Chelsea. I'm like, we had the costumes picked out, but we were like, shit, what are we going to talk about? Chelsea's like, give it a day. We're going to find some drama, like at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then here we are. TikTok is, like, ever evolving. We talked about that in the canceled episode that we talked about, the canceled episode that we did, where, especially on TikTok, just because of, like, how much new things are getting fed into your algorithm, it's kind of like you just get forgotten about, and then, like, somebody else is pushed into your feed, and then that drama kind of goes to somebody else. So it's not as easy to, I don't know, keep up with, like, a series or the drama. There was no
need. 15 minutes of fame, the 15 minutes of fame now, because of the TikTokification of the chaos machine that is social media, it's literally become, like, not even 15 minutes of fame, not even 5 minutes of fame. It's like 4 seconds in TikTok time, and it's crazy. You know what I bet it is? I bet they're trying to capitalize off it, because they were like, wait a minute, that hot Tua girl got a deal. So now we should do something and try to, like, capitalize off of it.
Oh, and then when you look, we'll have the obviously the videos up on the screen so you guys are watching along with it. If you're able to see, or even if you go to their page, please don't send hate or anything like that. But if you're going to go to their page and, like, check it out, look at the hashtags. Like, it's like drama talk, Mistress. And then they, like, put Miranda's I said Miranda again, Marissa's like handle in there, since she's the one who has a big following. So literally tagged Marissa in their videos to be like, if anybody's looking for her or following up, like, here we're gonna like, there was effort put. It wasn't just like, I'm gonna put out our thing. They specifically went in and put hashtags in there to get this video seen.
They were like, SEO, we got you.
Yeah.
But also, they are 100% clout goblins.
100%. And they're not even saying anything. So they're like, we're doing this series. And then in the next video, like, so you've sat here, you've planned this out, thought this was a good idea. What are you going to say in this video? What am I going to say in this video? And put this on TikTok. And so far, we're what, 4 minutes in? And you haven't said anything.
Into the third video. And all I know is that she was in prison and she didn't mean to hurt anybody, and that he looks like Joe Dirt.
Yeah. That's what we know.
I love it. Can't wait to not know more information.
Frankly, I didn't want to be on this app telling my side of the story. I did request that Marissa just take down the videos and kind of move on. That was rejected, which is entirely her right. But it's my right to be able to add additional context to the story. So, like I said, all I'm going to do is tomorrow, I'm going to start out and just give a brief, 20,000 foot view of probably 3 years leading up to everything. And then from there, I'll dive into more details and parts that are more for Ashley to tell. She'll hop on and continue. And I also understand that no matter what I say, there are people who already have their minds made up, and that's okay. I'm not innocent in all this. Ashley's not innocent in all this. My point in making this is to just say that Marissa's not innocent in all this either. And some people aren't going to want to hear that, but that's the truth. And just like she said that she wants to move on, I do as well. I frankly want to get the divorce done as quickly as possible, but that's not possible when the other person simply sticks their head in the sand and won't negotiate or won't come to the table to, be an adult. So, all right, I hope everybody has a great evening.
Negotiate on what, y'all? It sounds like you don't have any shared assets. And a divorce can be quick if you both sign. So, like, what's going on?
Well, we find out that this is like a manipulation thing that he does. He played along with Marissa too, like being like, oh, let's go to counseling. I want you back, da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, like, she at first was like hesitant and was still in contact with his ex, so the mother of her stepson, being like, we're not together, but he means so much to me. He's like a child to me. And they were arranging like how she could still see him. And then when
I love that.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Then when they looked like they were going to reconcile, then, okay, that's already in the works. So, she'll be back in his life. And then she's finding out, then she gets blocked and he's like, oh, yeah, like, I'm going to forge on with Ashley. And she, like, moved to her mom's, like, I believe like in a different state. So this is like, and then she blocked him
sad.
And privated all of her stuff. So he was like no longer able, what we're being told from people, like inside that know them is, actually I wasn't being told this, a girl named Ellie Gracie on TikTok, she was being told this, that he was blocked by on everything, and he couldn't take it because then all of the control was gone, right? Like now, when he was wanting to talk to her, being like, I miss you, this was his way of what we're understanding of getting her attention, going public, and she privated everything. And then for him to have the audacity to be like, yeah, that's probably why, like, she's silent now. It's like, no, because she doesn't want anything to do with you because you're psycho. We are hearing that he threatened to unalive himself if she doesn't talk to him, threatened to unalive her family if she doesn't talk to him. And she's like, I'm not giving in. Like, this isn't going to work. So what we are being told is from an inside party that I think is good friends with Ashley. Bill yeah, Bill is manipulating the situation, but also manipulating Ashley, forcing her to make these videos to try to like make themselves look better. Allegedly, this isn't something that she wanted to do. He wanted to go forward and like get Marissa's attention, you know, some way, whether it was negative or not, and see if she would like go back. It's like a sick game. Like he's wanting her to like come back on and talk about it, and it's almost still a way of like being in the chaos.
Is Bill like secretly like Johnny Sins or something, or like Girthmaster? Because girl, that dick must be so good for like the manipulation aspect of it. Like, goddamn.
Well, it's not working. So no, and then this is another thing that
his dick's not working, or the manipulation's not working.
The manipulation's not working, probably because the dick's not working. But what he does, and this is what Ellie was told on TikTok, is that since even before, like his first marriage that produced the son, he's had a sex addiction, and he's paid for those services for years. So this is originally...
And that's how he met Ashley.
That's how he met Ashley. Yeah. That's how he met her.
Dun.
Yeah, that's how he met her. And then, you know, then they became friends or whatever. Really what that was, Ashley, is if you follow Blue-Eyed Kayla Jade on TikTok, that was a way for him to not pay you anymore for your services, to be friends with you and close. So
yeah, girl, he
no,
he wanted it for free.
Yeah, know your worth. If you like we've said, you know, sex work is work. You do what you want. That is none of our business whatsoever. But when a guy like tries to, you know, get close and be like, oh yeah, like let's hang out after or whatever, they just want the relationship to continue, but they don't want to have to pay for it anymore. And that definitely sounds like that was what was going on here. So he was cheating on his first wife with Ashley, then their relationship, however she's kind of half-assed explained it, not really, was what it was. She goes to prison.
Long distance.
They went into the long distance thing. He's with Marissa. She comes out, and here we are again. And then...
But has she never heard the saying, you lose them how you get them?
Yeah. Apparently not, because we're here. Now, we have two options here. Do we want to hear the backstory of his marriage with Marissa or not?
I want to kill him. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Bill, too.
Hey guys, this is Bill again. So I got some feedback after yesterday. First of all, I'm going to try to not make this seem like a hostage video. I was a little worried yesterday about just coming off as glib. And so that's just not what I wanted. Obviously, Marissa's much more polished at this, a lot better at playing the victim than I am. But so anyway.
Gonna try to make it not sound like a hostage video. I didn't want to be glib. She's much better at coming off as like put together. Hey Bill, maybe if you want to come off as put together, don't have a fucking double lip in.
Yeah. Fucking Bill.
Bilbert. Oh my god.
Bilbert.
I hate it so much. And then the dig of she's much better at playing the victim.
Playing the victim?
She doesn't need to play it, babe. This
Even
isn't
if she
fiction.
said your name. Again, reminding everyone there was no... He came on the first video and said his first and last name. Something Marissa never fucking did. So anyways, Bill Burt.
I wish his government name was Bill space Burt.
Well, it is now because we
imagine?
give government names here, so.
Because we are the government. All right.
I have seen the video. It doesn't surprise me. Obviously, it's hard to, for any of us to take accountability in the roles that we've played in all this. She can say whatever she likes. I have a theory why she went private. I think it's because she didn't get that job that all of a sudden she didn't talk about it anymore, but that's just my theory. Anyway.
Because she moved on, Bill.
So I want to get into, just go back in time, kind of tell you guys how me and Marissa met, and just kind of leading into everything. So obviously, some of you guys probably know already that we met on Tinder, and we started talking. Pretty standard, you know, and we went out on a few dates, and, yeah, after a little bit, at one point we were essentially just dating. We had been seeing each other for a while, and then she was obviously more in my son's life, which was a help. So as we started dating more, she ended up wanting to move in, and that's when things got a little bit weird, because she's pretty good at putting people in positions where they're not really sure what to do. So it's not that I love Marissa at this point and everything, but I didn't think we were ready to move in yet. But it was told to me basically, hey, either I'm moving in or I'm not going to be around if I have to sign another lease. This is after us dating about 18 months, and obviously I loved her. I didn't want to lose her. She had already broken up with me once, probably a month into our relationship, and then, after 2 or 3 weeks of...
First of all, y'all are old as shit. And so I say old as shit. They're at that point in their lives, I'm pretty sure they're our age. So I'm allowed to say that. But like if I was dating someone for, he said 18 months.
Yeah.
It's not a toddler. It's not a toddler, Bill. You can say a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A year and
notice
a half,
how he
you're
said
dating someone.
Notice how he said, yeah, and she was a good help with my son. So like that was a bonus. That's like a reoccurring thing with this guy from what we know. Like he just can't be like the single dad out there like raising the son. He needs somebody to like be in the house, do the pickups, do the drop-offs, make the lunches. So I didn't even catch that in the first one, but like heard about that later. So that's really interesting that he said that. Like, oh my gosh.
So he's a deadbeat single dad.
Allegedly.
I mean, I am of that opinion. This guy sucks. But also, I love that he's trying to act like it's so strange to move in with someone when you're in your 30s after you've been dating for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like you're both adults. You both, I'm sure, already had serious relationships before. You have a fucking kid. Like,
yeah. That she's taking care of.
Yes. And obviously, like, that would be so much easier for, like clearly her and your kid already get along. You know how with TikTok situations, you usually like you hear one side and you agree with them, and then you hear the other side and then you agree with them, and then you get more information, then you agree with the other person. This is not that.
No.
No.
This
no.
is not that.
This guy sucks. All
no.
right.
Just silence. Started texting me again and said, hey, I'm sorry. Essentially, I had feelings and they scared me. So knowing that she could kind of just shut somebody out like that was a concern of mine. So she moved in, and things were going pretty well at first. She lost her job, which stunk. I don't think that, even though she lost her job, I really don't feel like it was her fault. I kind of felt like she got a raw end of the stick on that deal. So I'm not here to say like everything that the other person's ever done is terrible, because that's not the case. One thing that's been asked numerous times is, why didn't you just leave? Just leave. And it's because I love Marissa, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to end our marriage. And so at that point, because she had been fired and there were some issues with her insurance, we decided to get married. We had been seeing each other probably 2.5 years at this point. So we got married because I'm retired from the Navy, and so I have insurance and that kind of stuff. I had a job as well, but it didn't cost me anything additional to put around my insurance and that kind of stuff. And so we didn't tell anybody that we were married at the time. I got offered a job in Northern Virginia that essentially doubled my pay, so we took it. And then very shortly after that, I got fired. So I took the job in Northern Virginia. It was right around COVID time. 3 weeks into the job, I got canned. So at that point, we actually ended up moving in with her mom for about 6 months, 7 months, something like that. The day we were moving out there, I actually got offered a job here in Hampton Roads. So we knew we were going to be coming back. But it's really when things kind of went south. And like a lot of marriages, there was intimacy issues, and these weren't normal intimacy issues. There was always some problems there. And I know in America, for some reason, whenever you talk about that subject, everybody gets weird for some reason. But for whatever reason, I'm not a pushy person in that way. She always had issues starting, initiating, that kind of stuff. And
hold on.
Starting or initiating?
I'm not a pushy person in that way. What does that mean?
Because I'm assuming since he's like, she'd had issues like starting or initiating, that he's saying like he's not gonna want to be the initiator, like he's wanting her. Keep in mind though, Bill, you've paid people to initiate, like, is that what he's looking for? Being like, oh, like, I just want to, like, have the same exchange of professionalism service, being like, okay, like, what would you like, Bill? Like, what are we going to do, Bill? I don't know what it means
like
either.
He really has a lot of issues with communication.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fucking clearly. That was such a great observation, Chelsea. Wow, you should be a psychiatrist. Yeah. He sucks so much.
Yeah.
Like, why are you putting that out there? Did she put that out there on your side?
No.
So he's just trying to set up that, like, oh, she wasn't having sex with me.
Yes. And this is why, you know, I had to go with that. But he doesn't say anything about his past addictions with doing this.
Also, though, like, when and I'm sure her story's different, but when you've been with someone for a while, and obviously this is probably not the case for them, but I feel like in normal marriages, yeah, I mean, you go through like ebbs and flows and stuff, and there's times when you're more spicy, there's times when you have like sex twice a week, or 3 times a week. Sometimes it's once every 2 weeks. I mean, I know I think it was like 2018. It's a crazy year. We were in like a dry spell when it came to that, and now it's crazy. So
now the swing's getting dusted off every week.
Girl. By every week, I mean every other week, because I have a cleaning lady. I'm just kidding. We don't make her do that. We hide it under the bed like adults because we're scared for her to see it. So yeah, anyways, this guy sucks, and I don't like how it seems like he's trying to set the stage for preparing us for like why he was stepping out of his marriage. And it's like, no. You can go to therapy, you can communicate with your person and be like, hey, I am in need of this. Like, maybe that is your love language. Maybe you're not feeling loved in that way. I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something lacking, but you can work on that together.
Yeah.
Instead of stepping out on your marriage. And if it's just not working, it's not working, then okay, leave.
Yeah.
But don't cheat on your person. But I bet he wanted to keep doing that because he wanted to keep her around to hang out with her kids, so he didn't have to.
Yeah. I agree.
What a piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it was always weird because she had to drink, and made me feel really off-put. And I get, like, people can say whatever and say, like, hey, it's all my fault. I get that. So at this point, we lived there for 7 months. And when we moved back to Hampton Roads, we weren't intimate once in the entire time we lived there. And I knew this is an issue. It was a huge issue for me. And so at that point, I really started really trying to push for couples counseling, and she just refused. She would not do couples counseling for anything that had to deal with that subject, wouldn't do it. And so at that point, it was the never-ending moving goalposts of, if we do this, it'll solve the problem. So I do X, and things wouldn't change. Do Y, things wouldn't change. That went on for about a year. And then, of course, when things would get proposed, I was against them at that point because it was just the newest line of the goalpost moving. And so that became an issue as well. So then at that point, obviously, things were kind of not going well. I was beginning to just feel more and more separated from this person. And there's, mental health issues there as well, where, there's a lot of gaslighting where the house was constantly destroyed. And I already know the comment, well, why didn't you clean up? And I would have loved to, but that was an issue. So dishes would pile up, but if I cleaned them, I was taking her job. And so that was going to be a fight. The reason why Ashley cleaned the house when Marissa left is because we knew her family was going to come here, and there was trash everywhere. I mean, 10 of those Cheesecake Factory little boxes just thrown under the bed, that kind of stuff. But I couldn't clean up because then I was doing her job. So then at that point, I said, hey, things weren't like this in the beginning. What changed? And she made the comment, essentially, well,
It's probably that you started cheating on your wife, Bill.
Yeah. Women have that instinct. This didn't just happen fucking overnight. And we know that this has literally been constant. It doesn't even sound like there was hardly ever, like, a break between him doing, not just, like, with Ashley, but in general.
Yeah, it sounds like, listen, I might be a Christian. I might be queer. I might have great tits and correct opinions. If it's not working and you don't want to go to counseling, so then clearly you don't want to fix it and you can't fix it by yourselves, sign the papers.
Yeah.
Leave. Just fucking leave.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame in that. Boomers might think there is, but you know what? Then they clearly don't want you to be happy. Why am I yelling at them, Sherilyn? I'm scared. But just fucking leave. Like,
Yeah.
don't cheat. Don't step out. You're going to create more problems, more legal issues for yourself. Just leave. Just be happy. Just be real as shit and be like, listen, you're not happy. I'm not happy. We can go fix it, or we're going to get divorced.
Yeah.
Boom. Fix. There you go.
No, and I agree. I've been in those situations too. Like, you know, like even in like Brett and I, like we're together for so long. We're going on like 10 years of being together. And there are those
Together
times where you
total
just,
or married?
total.
Okay.
And you get comfortable, and then sometimes that comfort is just like routine, and then sometimes that routine just kind of like gets overlooked, and like you said, like you go through dry spells or you go through like lack of communication, and it's about like sitting there and having that conversation. And when you do, you almost feel kind of stupid at the end of it, like laughing, because you're just like, wow, that was really easy, because that's the moment that you know, okay, is this worth fighting for, or is this like, are we done? And it's like, no, like we are not done, and how do we move forward from this? Or you are done, and how do we move forward from this? And I know it's not a conversation everybody wants to have, you know, and it sucks, but you'll be surprised like how amazing that it does feel when you're just like, are you happy? Am I happy? How do we make each other happy? Do we want to make each other happy? Do we want to make other people happy? Like, what do we want here? And you figure it out.
Yeah. And that's one thing. I mean, and our relationships are not perfect. We've been fucking through it. And at the end of the day, though, I've always said I would rather fight with him than make love to anybody else. I would rather
Amen.
work so fucking hard to make this work, and so would he, than be with anyone else. And I will continue to fight for it and fight with each other. And one of my favorite lines from the end of Desperate Housewives. How is that going, by the way?
Oh, so fucking good. I'm on season, almost done season 5.
Okay, good. House is amazing. I'm on season 3 or 4. Give us other shows to binge watch, please. But one of my favorite lines from the last episode, I literally, me and my mom, I went over to her house and we watched it. And I wasn't living there at the time, but like we had to watch it together, and I was crying. We both were. And one of my favorite lines was, and then blank and blank. It was either like fought happily ever after, or like we're arguing happily ever after. And it's just like, oh, because you love each other. You don't want to be without each other. But like, we get on each other's fucking nerves, and we bicker, and we challenge the hell out of each other. I've always said, like, he's my calm and my chaos. He's the only man who can tame me. But like, rawr, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but like that's not the case with these dickheads. And not calling Marissa a dickhead, sorry girl. No. But like,
we love you, Marissa.
This man's gross and garbage and straight to jail, trash, diabolical. Like, so I'm understanding now why he's feeling maybe so empowered, because she closed it off. She shut the door. And now he's like, well, now I'm not getting that attention, like you said.
Yeah.
Girl, I hate it. I hate it. I hate this. But I also love it, because it doesn't have to do with my life. And it's my job, our job, to talk about this.
Yeah.
But I hate this for Marissa. Marissa, you deserve so much better. Fuck this guy.
It sounds like Marissa, from what I know, it sounds like Marissa is like she made that decision to just like end, and like this is very clear why you made the good decision, Marissa. But yeah, let's carry on. And then he does mention the state of the house, because they were getting a lot of heat about this. We didn't see this yet, but I think it was either right after the first video that Ashley put out, or like the second, this was another attempt at getting the audience like on their side. And then she did a TikTok being like, this was the state of the house when I moved in, and it's like a messy house, trying to like, you know, get the gold star of being like, I had to step in
I'm
and clean
saving
it out.
the day. Oh,
Like,
my name's Ashley, and I'm
so
the mistress
that's
coming
when
to
he
save
mentions
the day.
that, that's why, because there was a TikTok of it, and we'll just show the TikTok of, it's just all words anyways. It says, this is the state of house when I stepped in, and then it's just like a messy house. Like, okay, and fuck off.
Yeah, that's depression, because this guy has a sad dick. Sorry, and a sad beard. Ugh.
Well, she was never enjoyed any of it. She did it because she didn't want to lose me, and that comment just it crushed me. Sorry. So
What was
she started
that?
counseling, solo counseling. Did that for a while, and
I have to rewind. I need to know what that was. So hold on. Let me go back because he like either laughed or choked or was like about to like fake cry and he goes, sorry. So hold on.
and that comment just it crushed me. Sorry. So
Sir. Ew. That's so gross.
Bill, you came to the wrong channel.
This man is a herpy. Not even a
Insufferable.
hemorrhoid. He is a herpy.
Insufferable.
Oh, which maybe I shouldn't say that because actually herpes, there's a huge stigma and like a huge, it's so common. It's crazy. Girl, don't look
Yeah.
up the statistics because then you'll be like, oh my God, I have it. Yeah. It's crazy. So maybe he is a hemorrhoid because hemorrhoids
Yeah, he's a hemorrhoid.
are the worst. They
Never
make
take
it so
that.
that you can't sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have any right now though. So I'm
I was
really
going to say,
excited.
Chelsea did the first like 3 episodes with a brutal one, so.
Yeah, it's because your friend Tony keeps folding me up like a pretzel.
she started counseling, solo counseling. Did that for a while, and nothing changed. It's just nothing changed. No, let me make this clear. Not everything was awful. She was wonderful.
With my son.
Was he
Say
crying
with
again?
my son.
Was he crying again?
No, he's not. He has allergies.
Wonderful with my son. I couldn't ask for anything more.
She was such a good babysitter. He's literally crying because he's sad to lose childcare.
That's it. That's it. And this is the manipulation because he's like, he can't get through to her. So he's making this video, acting like this and wanting to get, like, he wants her to see this. He wants a rise out of her for her to, like, what, see that you're, like, fake crying, Bill? And she was a good babysitter.
She was such a good daycare worker. I'm so sad to lose her. Now who's gonna watch my kid? Is Ashley good with your kid? I mean, she fucking better be. She's about to have another one.
Yeah, she moved right in, like, the next day. So,
Is she still a sex worker? What's she doing?
I'm not sure what she's doing. I don't know if we...
Should we ask her?
Please, no.
Should
I don't-
Should I request an interview?
I don't want to know Ashley, but I do want Ashley to get the help that she seems to need. Ashley needs to get out of the situation that she's in. It doesn't sound like it's healthy at all. It sounds toxic AF. It sounds like she's gone through a lot in her life. And I would like for her to not be in the clutches of Bill's dirty little nicotine hands. Because you know he smells like fucking cigarettes.
First of all, girl, this guy looks like he smells like piss. Second of all, you know his fingernails are dirty and that he has had pinworms multiple times in his life as an adult.
Yeah.
Because if you're a kid and you have it, that's fine because like
you
kids are
deserve
dirty.
better. You're pregnant, girl. Just take care of you and the babes, because not only now do we know like he likes women to babysit his child for free, but then also not have to pay for the services that he is liking. Like you already had that relationship with him. Look at the way he wormed in there. All of a sudden he's not a client anymore. Like he's your friend, and now you're pregnant and you have another kid coming into this situation. I feel bad for her.
He 100% is a worm. See, this is our toxic trait. Maybe it's actually a green flag. No, it's a toxic trait. That's what my therapist said. Is that we will be like, no, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And then like we'll think more about, like the empathy takes over.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, oh, but it's like actually sad.
It is.
Like remember how I told you about that girl who was on Reddit and saying that like I was DMing her boyfriend in 2020?
No.
I told you about this, right? I didn't tell you about this?
No.
My channel members right now are like, bitch, you are not talking about this right now on the podcast. Because I had only done a live stream about it to just my channel members and just to the Discord, and like told a few of my close friends. I could have sworn I told you. I'll send you all the DMs. I'll send you the whole story. Yeah, she was on Reddit saying that like I was like DMing her boyfriend in 2020. She didn't know him then, whatever. Like he was single. I was married. And keep in mind, I didn't have access to my Instagram at that time. At the time that she was accusing me of this, because it had been disabled for a month. So I was like, well, can't defend myself. Like, I don't know what the DMs are. But the way she was explaining it, I was like, you know, I'm very intuitive. I'm a witch. So I was like, I could bet right now $7 billion in sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads that I look like a fembot, that I met this man through my gay husband, through Anthony, our gay best friend. And I always preface him like that because, like, yes, I'm queer too, but like he's like the head of the gay mafia here. So that's why I call him that. He's amazing. Love him so much. I cannot wait for you to meet him. He's outrageous. But he always has just a gaggle of little gays, just a bunch of twinks and otters and no
Love
bears.
that for him.
He's technically the bear. But I was like, I know that like I know that I met this guy through him because there's always a bunch of hot gays around him. And like, I'm always like super friendly with them. So I was like, I clearly thought the guy was gay if I was DMing him. Like, what?
Oh
so
my
right,
gosh.
the first thing I did when I got my Instagram back, guess what I did, bitch?
You went and
Found out
messages?
exactly who it was, screenshotted all of them, sent them to Tony, and I was like, I told you I'd find it. And he was like, oh my God, we were right. Like, we thought that's who it was. And I was like,
Stop.
yep. So I found him, the girl. I DM'd her and I was like, hey, Tony said I should just say it on Reddit and be like, hey, Casey, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, no, because I know that my people are going to be like protective and like come after the girl. I was like, even if I tell them not to, but like,
Yeah.
so I was like, no. So I DM'd her and was like, hey, I'm not trying to be
like, no
mean.
offense. Yeah.
Literally saw him doing things that I'd be like, oh, he's gay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let me kind of look from afar because that's real sweaty and hot. Hey, I probably shouldn't be staring at this, but you're in public. But yeah, so I sent that to her, and then guess what she did? Blocked me. Right after I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to make this public, but like, you know, I don't want my people to like come after you or anything. But then I realized later I slept on it and I was like, shit, that was probably like seemed threatening to her. Like, oh my God, like now I feel so bad. And then I went and looked through her like Reddit comments. Girl, toxic trait.
I know.
Because then I felt bad.
Because then you felt bad and then you got too invested in it. I get it.
And then Tony was like, this girl was literally defaming you and making up a story that she knew was false. Yeah. And yet you're like worried about her and want to check in on her. And I'm like, yeah, is she okay? I don't know.
No, I get it. Yeah.
It's not okay.
No,
Anyways,
it's not.
Sorry about that.
And so, yes, this is why I also said at the beginning, you know, like a little bit of a preface here because there's a lot of somersaults in action going on in this video.
Girl, I'm cartwheeling. I'm doing a double round off whatever. I was never a cheerleader. I don't know.
Oh, Bill's still talking.
But at this point, things were bad. So that's when I reached out to Ashley. You know, we had a past. And I'm not, let me make this clear. What I'm not saying is any of this justified what I did, but there is more to the story.
Which we still don't know.
And it's easy for the other person to try to paint me and Ashley out. And she's the one who's abandoned her stepchild, who's supposed to get him on Saturday, and text on Wednesday to say, nope, can't do that. So...
Hey, buddy, maybe that's the consequences of your own infidelity. And the fact that you moved in your mistress, your pregante mistress, into you and not Marissa, that one, Meredith, into y'all's house.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl, me no disrespect. We're clearly Team Marissa and Team Meredith. Who knows?
And the point too, like this, if you want to talk about this poor child, the stepmother's ripped out. I'm sure he probably heard a lot that fucking night about what was going on. All of a sudden, his second mother is ripped from the house. She moves that night, and the next day, the mistress moves in. Like, talk about fucking confusion for this poor baby. Like, don't pretend like you freaking care.
It's just so, like, the audacity this man has to be like, well, she's not taking care of her stepkid. Well, no, now it's an ex-stepchild, and guess what? She doesn't have any legal obligation to do that. Did she ever adopt him? No, because she can't, because he has a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
So, no.
No,
And
she
yeah,
was
that
there
sucks
for
to
like
say,
the goodness
but,
of her
like,
heart, loving him, reaching out to the mom, wanting to be still involved in his life. And then when the situation gets so freaking toxic and you can't mentally, emotionally handle the ups and downs that this man is putting, like, leading you on, making you go to therapy. They went for therapy, like, from my understanding, for like 3 months. She was supposed to move in the next day after, like, that session where they decided, and he texts her and says, "I'm sorry I strung you along, no," and blocks her. So when she
Wait,
pulls the same...
And it was in person. So then where did Ashley think that he was going when he was in therapy?
I think she explains this. Like, I think she explains her side of where she thought the relationship was going and that she wasn't aware. So again, this is going on behind her back. Okay, so Bill's insufferable. Now we're going to go. So let's just skip to what we have in our folder named Mistress Part 4. And this is where she explains what she thought their relationship was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe she is on the right track. I don't know. Okay, so Part 4, what I knew and didn't know about the attempt to repair the marriage. At this point, is she still living with him?
Oh yeah, she's living with him with all of these.
Hey, babe. Leave.
This is part 4 in a series where I talk about being pregnant by a married man. A lot of personal private information was put out on TikTok by the wife, so this is just me giving my side of the story, some context and background, some things that were left out.
But, like, their names weren't put out there.
No.
And
I don't
like,
know why
it's
they
not-
keep saying that.
it's not a HIPAA violation, you guys.
No. They're putting it up
Jesus.
themselves.
Yeah, you done did it yourself.
In this video, I'm going to talk about what I did and didn't know about Marissa and Bill working on repairing their marriage. But before I go into that, I'm just going to answer a couple of commonly asked questions and just respond to some of the comments I've been getting in my videos. The first comment or question I've been asked is, why would I take pictures of the house when I got here to clean it? And why would I record our interaction in the driveway? So I took pictures of the house because this is a rented property. And when I got here to clean it, there was some damage done to the property. So I took pictures for the landlord. Obviously, she was leaving, so the lease was changing and things like that. So it was just for legal purposes. I put the pictures on TikTok because I was asked quite frequently why my things were here at the house when she came to move her things out. And only a few of my things were here and they were put away. However, they got dumped on the couch and I basically got called out for it. So I lived 5.5 hours away. I came here to clean the house. That's why I was here. The second thing, the driveway. Why did I record that conversation? Well, obviously I didn't know her and I knew I was giving her bad news and I didn't know how the conversation was going to go. So I recorded it for my own personal safety. The reason the audio went on TikTok was a rebuttal to her claiming that I cornered her in the driveway and I was horrifically mean and just awful, which is not true. Yes, I was giving her information that was awful, which I acknowledged and I still acknowledge, but I was not trying to be mean to her.
Would you, if you were, and y'all please let us know down below too, if you were Marissa, would you rather hear it from the woman?
Husband. My husband.
Obviously.
100%.
Why am I even asking that? But this man's a little bitch. He ain't gonna do that.
No. And this was,
Crazy.
from what we know from her friend that reached out to Ellie on TikTok, this was set up. Like, it was Bill who, like, was very much aware that this was going to happen that day, knowing damn well that, you know, let's coordinate this after school drop off though. Let's get her to drop the kid off at school and then show up on the driveway. So this was all coordinated. He knew what was going to happen and then put it on her to do. Dirty.
God, they all deserve so much better than this little man.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Dirty little Bill.
Little Bill Worm Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill the worm boy.
Bilbert the worm boy. Oh, I love it.
The other thing is you're never going to hear me say that what I did was right, that I'm proud of what I did,
Oh my God,
or
we
I'm
get
happy
it.
about it, or I'm happy I hurt people. You'll never hear me say that. What I will say is that I made the decisions I made out of love. I made the decisions I made in a very emotional way, obviously. It's easy to say that you should make all of your choices based on logic and use your head and not your heart, but it's easier said than done. So getting into it, what I did and didn't know about
Well, someone's clearly not autistic. Yeah, she's been manipulated, clearly. Like, clearly.
Yeah, and it sounds like and this is the thing where we do not excuse anything. You're still, at the end of the day, an adult. You still made decisions. It sounds like she's gone through a lot in her life. I don't think probably values herself as much as she should, because she allows herself to be treated like this
Yes.
by anybody, but like, you know, like by Worm Boy Bill.
Fucking worm boy Bill, I swear to God.
And now she's pregnant, and that's what you kind of have to remember in all of this. Like,
God,
that adds such a different
sweet,
layer.
That sweet little baby angel's coming in to that.
Yeah,
You know what? The ex-wife, the OG ex-wife, and Marissa and Ashley should all go to therapy together and then live in a house together and raise their children together.
Literally. And there's another woman though. There's another woman who's pregnant currently right now as Ashley is pregnant. There's another one that's pregnant, and allegedly he has already signed over the rights to not be involved in that child's life. So there's another one roaming around. Word on the street.
What in the trailer trash Tristan Thompson is going on?
Yeah.
I do not. Zoinks.
Marissa and Bill trying to reconcile. Making an incredibly long story short, I didn't know any of it until about 3 weeks ago. Obviously, there's a whole lot of this story that Bill has to tell, but I'll just say what I know, which is that they were obviously sleeping together, and it was being concealed from me, which nobody's right in that situation, obviously. Obviously, I didn't go into this situation believing that their marriage was salvageable or that that's even what he wanted. The truth is that everything got really messy and everybody got really hurt. So in my next video, we'll kind of talk about where do we go from here. That's it for today. I hope everybody has a good night.
I'm sorry.
That's all she said so far.
She sure does love posting 4-minute videos with one tidbit of information in it.
Like the one
And-
breadcrumb.
Woman, our girl Ashley loves a 3-minute and 45-second long disclaimer and 15 seconds of new information.
At the very
And that's
end
it.
of it. She does, babe. That's an amazing observation. Yeah, I don't understand. She definitely didn't take any cues from Risa Tisa, because holy Hannah Montana, did that woman just nail it in that 30. That was the first
Girl.
30-part series we'd ever been
It's hard,
given.
and it's hard. Do you think
It is
she
hard.
had a script?
I don't know what the hell she had, but it was on point every time. There was no lagging. There was no dragging. There was no repeat. It was like, hey, we finished off with this. Now we're getting into this. It can never be redone. But this isn't even on the scale at all. So
Well, 'cause
Ashley,
it's hard. It's hard to recreate that, like you said. Like Risa Tisa's why hers was so good, and Brooks too.
Yeah.
Because Brooks had been like teased and she had never really talked about it before, and finally she did. But like both of their storytelling was so, girl, I was munching on every little morsel. It
I'll
was so
never
good.
forget that weekend of Risa Tisa. That was an entire week. That was, my phone has the sticky on the back. She was in the shower with me. Like, this was stuck.
I know. I remember you told me that. That's
stuck
one
everywhere.
thing that you texted me. You texted me that. Lily texted it to me. I don't remember if Jesse did, because Jesse never texts anyone back. However, in our group chat, also
She's amazing in the group chat. Jesse's chatty in the group chat.
yeah, and then Lily responds, "What did I say last?" I was like, "Well, 16 hours later." But yeah, they exposed our group chat and my mood board for for Sabrina, which I didn't make that. I didn't make it, which I will make one. I'm not above that. And I 100% already have one on my phone, but multiple on my phone. Because listen, if I'm going to commit to something, I'm going to commit. However, I felt like I was put on blast, but I'm very excited that they're so excited. And if Lily doesn't go, she's dead to us.
No, Lily's going. If anybody isn't following the Do We Know Them girls, please do.
They all of them are. Literally all of them are. It's our
so you probably
it's our
have
sister
already,
podcast.
Yeah, we are the sister podcast. You probably already heard then that we invited ourselves to go to the Sabrina Carpenter concert with them and forced it and making it happen. And we're so excited. So we are going to be going to Atlanta in October, right? End of October to go, and very exciting.
I love and I've already had multiple people from Atlanta message me and be like, oh my God, I'm going to be there too. And I'm like, oh, say hi.
Yes.
But I also said, I was like, nope. I will not be okay.
No.
Listen, I even said, I was like, I'm getting a hotel room for us as close as fucking possible to the venue so that we don't have to walk far. It's like, I'm gonna throw up.
If we're not wearing shoes and you see us, it's okay. Like, we've already pre-planned,
And if you're driving by in an Uber, let me get in, or also feed me French fries. I don't know. I'll feed you something. Just don't roofie me, please.
That's my party trick. Is I usually stop and get like cheeseburgers or like a Taco Bell, and then I put it in my purse. And so like halfway through the night when I just need something, I pull it out, and you'll just look over, and I'm just
literally
eating cheeseburger.
I'm not joking. Every episode and every time we speak, Sherilyn says something that my sister has done or said or like is ingrained in her DNA, in her dino DNA. My sister literally to Gasparilla, to the pirate festival we go to every year, or literally anytime ever, this bitch pulls out a Ziploc bag of chicken nuggets or wings or chicken tenders or something, and I'm just like,
girl.
Get it, girl. Put that in your fanny pack. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and I keep having to remind myself that, like, she doesn't know you. And so I said something as if, like, y'all are friends. And she's like, Chelsea, I don't know her. And she, like, felt bad saying it. And I'm like, no, but, share.
You will, because we are going to be living on the same block or, like, close to each other. It's in the stars. It's in the works. It's in the 5-year plan.
I'm there. Get a Getty image. You move down here, we build a set, and by build a set, I mean convert my office into just the pod studio. And then what else is on my 5-year plan? I said Getty image. Have my credits in a documentary on a streamer.
Ooh.
On like one of the streaming services. Yeah, well, because Niall Capello, if y'all have not watched Into the Fire, the new documentary it's 2 parts, but it's a documentary on Netflix. Holy fucking shit, it's so good. So Niall Capello is an executive producer on that. She also did The Way Down, the one about Gwen Shamlin.
Yep.
Big fucking hair,
Gwen.
Little bones.
Yep.
Died in a plane crash because God was like, I don't claim that. So
Starve yourself, Gwen, right? Yeah.
Starve yourself, Gwen. Hire the hair closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. So she did that docuseries, and it was amazing. I was supposed to work with her. Her and I were working on one and like shopping it around about money. And she's amazing. I love her so much. She's so fucking talented, like such an inspiration to me. Every time I see executive producer Niall Capello, I'm like,
I love that, babe.
Let me just take a picture. I love her so much. And Tony and I were watching it, and I was like, look, there she is. And I looked at him from like across the island, because we eat at the kitchen island, watching something on TV with Bean in between us. And I was like, it was just such like a real moment, because I never talk to him about work usually. And I was like, Tony, one day we're going to see my fucking name in credits. And he like executive producer, because I'm the next thing I agree to work on, I'm not agreeing to it or giving them any information unless I get EP credits. And
amen. Yes.
And he said, he was like, hell yeah, babe. And I was like, but y'all need to watch that. It's amazing. Niall Capello, everything she touches is fucking gold. Anyways, so all these people suck, and I can't stand her. But my question is, has he put up anything else? Because I don't, like, what is there, what's not there, because Ashley's being manipulated too. Like, we get that. What is his end game? Does he know? Because I don't.
He has. It's insufferable. We're not gonna even listen to it. You guys can go and check it out if you want. But it's the same song and dance. It's the manipulation. It's the trying to, like, he's regurgitating the same shit, trying to make himself look okay. Oh, she did this. This is why I did this. Insufferable. Only word that can come to my mind when explaining Beetle Boy Bill, or what, Bug Boy Bill. What did we
Bald? No, it wasn't bald. Worm Boy.
Worm Boy Bill.
Worm Boy Bill.
Bilbert.
Put that up. God.
It's just
Worm Boy Bilbert.
There's no more. So the other videos, we're not even gonna sit through them and go through anything, because it's the same regurgitation here. But like I said, I'm also gonna tag Ellie's TikTok in the description of this video, you guys, so you guys can go and check it out, because like I said, she has talked to friends of Ashley, people who know Bill and Ashley, and it sounds like they're very concerned for her. They also agree, like, the decisions she has made are inexcusable. It's not okay.
That's sad.
And you have to
That's
think
so
about the
sad.
fact that when women are pregnant, they're at an even higher risk of DV or something happening. So with all that into consideration, this is something that needs to be treaded on lightly for her sake, Marissa's sake as well. This guy is clearly grasping at straws. He's lost the control of that relationship, you know, even using Ashley to get on, from what we understand, get on TikTok, do these videos.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fucking goal of, you know, involving her, what he thought this was going to do, but it is to get a reaction out of Marissa. And we've been told he's threatened to take his life, like, to try to get to her. When that didn't work, he threatened her life and people in her life. So that's with her being out of the house. With Ashley being in the house, being pregnant, you got another one that's pregnant out there too. In real life, that's scary.
That is, yeah. That sucks, obviously. And, like, yes, we're making light of it because it's, like, crazy shit.
Yeah.
And, like, our lives are, in general, I mean, they're pretty calm. I mean, we got crazy shit going on, but it's just wild, because it's like, did he think that he could get away with this? And that's something we've talked about before, is like, this day and age, why do you think that you could get away with this with social media and your digital footprint? And even with, like, the resurgence, guys, if y'all have not watched Sherilyn's video about the Lacey Peterson case and all that, oh my God, it literally cuts through all the bullshit, and it's just like, hey, this is why these dumb fucks think that he is innocent. And I watched it twice because I was so exhausted from, you know, girl bossing and being a mom. And so during, like, the chunk of your video that was, like, playing this cringy, like, calls between him and the girlfriend, I fell asleep. So then I just replayed the entire thing. And then I made Tony watch it too. And he's like, why is Cher on the TV? And I was like, why isn't she all the time? She's beautiful. Shut up. So we watched it again. And guys, it's so long. It's so good.
Yeah, it is long.
Like a good wiener. Unlike Bill Boy Worm Wiener. It's like, even like back then, they hardly had a digital footprint, and he didn't get away with that. So like, and that brings us to the story that I wanted to talk about quickly, is this story that is a great example of how before the internet, you could get away with having a mistress. Yeah, from the Washington Post. Honestly, the People magazine one is way, way better, but I don't have a copy of it because I'm, you know, in the present. Okay, so it's truly, truly crazy. And keep in mind, you could get away with this if you were someone who not only... Ma'am, do you want to talk about that? What are you doing?
My dress was all stuck together. Carry on.
Can you please wear that to Sabrina Carpenter? So good. It's so good. Okay. So you not only could do this, like, back in the day when there wasn't not that there wasn't the internet, but like when there wasn't social media and our digital footprints and people didn't know where you were all the time. And there wasn't TikTok where you could hop on your phone and do a 45-part series about something, right? But then also, if you got money, you can probably get away with this too, right? So the title of this article, and there's a bunch of them out there, is, and this one was before the Scott Peterson one, and Scott Peterson almost got away with it.
Thank God he is stupid AF. Thank God.
Oh, that dumb. Yeah, fuck him. All right. I'm golfing. No, you're not. All right. Oh, and it happened in Tampa too. Did I tell you that? So one man, my channel members right now are going crazy. So one man, two families, one scandal. Guys, Sherilyn's never heard this. Tampa. While their wife, God, I'm just so excited because I love how this one's written. So while their wives drove Rolls Royces, one emerald green, one midnight blue. I'm adding in that detail. It's not written in there, but I'm weird and I know that detail. And moved along South Tampa's elite. Douglas S. Cohn and Don Carlson always seemed busy with business. Okay, girl boss. Cohn, a 74-year-old millionaire, owner of a highway construction company, was gone most weekdays. Don Carlson was also frequently away from home, an absence his family attributed to a sensitive government job that, this part's so funny, that required him to travel for long stretches. Secret agent who? I'm going to be doing a lot of ad libs. I'm sorry. This is how I deal with trauma. But those business trips masked a shocking secret. I don't know why it says Douglas S. Cohn because his middle name is Poe, not S. So this Washington Post writer can suck my ass for getting my grandfather's name wrong.
What?
Guys, Sherilyn didn't know. This story's about my grandfather. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I thought you knew that my maiden name was Cohn. That's why right when I sent it to you, I didn't say anything.
I did.
Yeah, so I didn't.
When you said Cohn, I was
anything.
like, oh my God, that's actually crazy because like I don't know many Cohn, like haven't like heard
Well,
that.
yeah,
so.
because and like you follow my like private Instagram and it says it all over there, and so I was like, oh my God, she's gonna know.
No, I didn't read
Anyways,
it. Because you know I like to be surprised. But when you just said Cohn, I was like, Chelsea's Cohn.
I kind of saw it. Yeah, I kind of saw it. Okay. Well, let's get more into my familial trauma. Anyways, this was in People magazine. That's why I almost slipped up there because my mom, you know Linda, she can't wait to meet you, by the way, but Linda's insane. Y'all know. Girl.
I'm sorry, I'm still dumbfounded.
I know. God, that delivery was amazing. Linda has copies of the People magazine article, or like of the issue. She bought a bunch of them back in the day in 2003. She has copies of that People magazine issue in their guest bathroom, like as a troll.
Linda is such
Linda, stop.
My mom would do the same.
Like, it's funny.
Girl,
my family's always been like that. Like there were certain families in South Tampa when like their kids went off to rehab, they're like, oh, we're not going to tell anyone. Meanwhile, Linda's like, Chelsea's in Utah, she's thriving, and it's like, Linda, stop. All right, so yeah, same people, Douglas P. Cohn, not S. Cohn. It's like, get it right, girl, get it right, get it tight, Tracy. Come on. I don't know if her name's Tracy. Anyways, so blah, blah, blah. Cohn lived a secret double life for nearly 30 years. It was 27. Raising two affluent families in lavish homes 20 miles apart. So it was, their house was, my grandmother's house was close to where I grew up. It's not technically this neighborhood, but like it's South Tampa, but it's like on the golf course. And I'm pretty sure it's less than 20 miles apart is where the other wife's house is. But as we said before, Mistress, I say as we said before, we weren't recording. As I asked before, hey, wait, Mistress means that lady knows, right? She's in on it. My step grandmother did know. So anyways, oh God, trauma. So one with his wife of 52 years, Jean Ann Cohn, the most fabulous philanthropist amazing, beautiful woman in the world. One thing that does kill me about this entire situation is that her, I was about to say philandery, her philanthropy is overshadowed by this philandery, but it sucks. Like, for instance, she's the reason why my family loves bulldogs. She raised bulldogs. She like had bulldogs that were like award-winning bulldogs and shit that were like in shows and stuff, like best of show and shit. She's amazing, like so giving, on the board and committees of like every charity in South Tampa, and just such like best friends with everyone she meets, but like real and not fake, and just like everything I strive to be like in my community. And she's just so amazing and just such a bulldog lover. This bitch went to and I found this out recently, like literally within the last
Is she still
2
with
weeks,
us?
I think it was. Oh no, bitch, we'll get to that point in a second. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot that you don't know this. Oops. My channel members are like, Chelsea, we know. She doesn't know. But she had with the Humane Society of Tampa, she went to them and they were like, wait, if you write us a check, like it'll go into, like it won't go to like to pay for people's bills, like it'll go to like the building renovations and shit like that. And she's like, okay, well, what you can do then is if people can't pay like for their vet bills or like emergency surgeries or stuff, okay, we'll just bill it to the Cone account. And then they would send her a bill that said like something animal charity. And that way, like when my grandfather saw it, he was like, okay, we'll pay it. So, because he didn't think it was like just for some random so at the end of the month or like end of the quarter, whatever, because they knew they were good for it, so they would just send it off to her so that she could pay for like all these surgeries. Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy? Like queen shit. Like that's the type of shit I want to do. And like,
Yeah.
no one knew. And one of my Wiggum's vet like knew her and like went to school with my dad and stuff and like knew her very well. And he even said he was like, oh yeah, I build that all the time. And it just, and he was like, yeah, no one knew. Like it was between her and like the vet's office over here and then the Humane Society. And like, it's amazing. So let's continue. So, okay, families in lavish homes 20 miles apart, one with his wife of 52 years and the other with a former employee. By all accounts, oh, I literally have goosebumps even reading her name. She's so amazing. Jean Ann Cohn never suspected her. This is also false. Never suspected her husband was using an alias to carry on a relationship with my step grandmother's name. 28 years her junior. So my step grandmother's 18 years younger than my paternal grandmother. My step grandmother's only 9 years older than my dad, which we're all fine and dandy. Everyone's okay. Everyone respects each other. It's all good. My family's fine. Are we? I don't know. But we all make fun of our trauma. So like, it's cool. And yeah, he fathered 3 children with his wife, which is my dad and his 2 siblings, and 2 with his other wife. The double life unraveled this spring in 2003, only after Jean Ann Cohn died at age 75. And Cohn remarried the second wife 2 weeks later. So Jean Ann died on the 18th of March in 2003. And she was found on March 20th, which is my birthday. I came home from school and my mom was like, hey, so Meemaw's dead. And I was like, okay. And then 2 weeks later, we had a family meeting. And my dad was like, no one has cancer, no one's pregnant. We've been through trauma. However, this happened.
Okay, so Meemaw never knew.
Girl, yeah, she did. She was smart as shit. She knew.
Okay.
But she wasn't going to give up her awesome life. Like, no.
And helping other people and being able to do that. Okay.
Yeah, the like socialite of all socialites and being able to help so many people. And she was a badass. She wasn't giving that shit up. I wouldn't either. No, not at all. Anyways, so Jean Ann Cohn and other grandmother's name both circulated among Tampa's rich and powerful. They both served as trustees at Berkeley Prep School, their children's prestigious school. So my dad and his 2 siblings went to the same school that their half siblings went to, but like 18 or like 20 years later, because so like my uncle, like the other 2 kids from like the second marriage are the age of Carly of my sister and my oldest brother. So I don't call them my aunt and uncle. I call them my cousins.
Right.
Yeah. And like I'm with the daughter, I'm not as close with the son. I mean, he's cool, but I'm a lot closer with the daughter because like she's artistic and maybe a little bit autistic, but she's also like, hey, here's my trauma. Let's make fun of it. Let's talk about it. And like I'm the
Right.
same way. So she's great. I love her so much. But yeah, so there's that with his children grieving and the grandchildren stunned by the developments. Oh my God, grandchildren. That's me. His double life became all anyone in Tampa was talking about, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. And then at the very end, it has a little blurb about that. So my point is that before social media, you could get away with stuff like this. Yeah. Also, just want to make it clear that the generational wealth that my family clearly had ran out at my dad, and I don't have that. So that's what I'm trying to recreate here. There are people who sometimes will be like, "Oh, your grandfather was very wealthy. He also like worked very fucking hard, and so did my father." My grandfather did not give him shit. It was great. And you know what? My dad carried that on to me. But yeah, no, this is all. It's all because of that guy right there. Why do you think I married him? Just kidding. It's just because of his butt. Yeah, so I'm so happy you were so like
I'm still reeling. I'm still
surprised.
processing. I'm probably still going to be like in the morning. I'm still probably going to have questions after we turn off the camera that once this episode airs, like I'll be in the comments
Yeah.
waiting for replies because
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's
So we still consider step Mima. So she came into the picture.
No, not step Mima. Just
Okay.
just I mean legally, that's my step grandmother.
Okay.
But
So
we communicate. We're nice to each other. I mean, we do have a relationship. I like her. It's all right.
okay.
But Mima, that was the grandmother name that we called my dad's mom. So
Okay. So
So
so it's like it's more of a respect thing over here for just like this is the situation, it is what it is. And you guys all found out about her in 2003?
yes.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how to process this right now. I'll be in the comments with questions.
I literally this is how it is in my brain. It's like me and you are in like the like plastic chairs that have like the metal legs like in school, you know? And it's like me and Sherilyn sitting here, and then it's like what, like how many subscribers are we at now? Like 8,000? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I get nervous. So then it's like 8,000 of you guys. Like right now, Sherilyn is moving her chair over to you guys right now. And she's just like, and then what?
I literally am. That's me.
I'm like, wait, no,
switching
come back. I'm
positions right now.
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, lots of if you can't tell, that's when my generalized anxiety disorder started. Yeah, it was crazy. I remember specifically, it's fitting that I have a bulldog snoring at my feet right now, talking about my grandmother. Oh, she was so fabulous. But and just such a good person in general. But yeah, it's really crazy how like I remember specifically. So I was in 6th grade and I was at the grocery store. I was at Publix with my mom. And, you know, in like the checkout aisle, there's, you know, a bunch of magazines and stuff. And my mom like wouldn't let me go into the grocery store with her and like wouldn't let me like look at the magazines. And I'm like, am I in trouble? Like what? And she's like, no, just stand here. And I'm like, okay. She wouldn't let me or my brother on AIM or like AOL because on the home screen, it was my grandfather's face. And my mom and dad wanted to be able to tell us first about it and like have that family meeting so that like we found out through them instead of being like, yeah, like, hey dad, like, hey dad, why is your dad's face on the computer screen? And then also because it was in People magazine too, it was fucking crazy. We had Oprah call us, we had Maury and like all those fucking people call us, and my dad only gave a statement to People magazine, and that's all it was. And then he didn't do any other statements for anyone else. Yeah. It was crazy, man. Imagine being in 6th grade and that happens. And then like everyone, like I go back to middle school, like the next Monday or the next day or whatever. And like everyone's mom has already like talked about it and stuff, and like all the teachers are talking about it, and like I'm just like walking. It was so fucking crazy, man. Yeah,
Oh
so that's
my
when my anxiety
gosh.
started.
Okay, well, I am so sorry. Like, I can't, and this is, I mean, okay, my freaking AirPod's going now too. This is something that you don't think about, right? We share
The
these stories, we
fallout.
say these things. Yes, and all of the people that it impacts and affects, and wild. Like, I
Well, I
don't.
mean, that's why my like like as you could tell, like my main focus was like, oh my God, like the children, like and that kid's being born into this,
Yeah.
and like he didn't ask for this, and
Yeah.
you know, for the first time, because you know, I mean, with any situation like that, I mean, sometimes you're like tiptoeing around it, you don't know how someone else feels and all that, and I know me and Tony went to go we like basically we took Bean and went and spent the day at the beach with my half aunt, my dad's half sister, and she's and her partner Jeremiah, and they're awesome. I love them so much, and I like Tony said, he was like, so are y'all gonna like talk? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'll put a little treat out there for her and see if she grabs it. And he's like, oh God, I can't wait. And he's like, we have to have a code word. So I said something, and then like the floodgates just opened, and we like talked about it, and like she started crying, and like I did too. And I was like, listen, like I don't want to be like, no one's the villain. Like obviously, yeah, like my grandfather should not have done that, clearly. But also like all these people, like the fallout of it, like our feelings are valid, like feeling
Yeah.
betrayed. And she even
Yeah.
said, and I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, your last name's made up. And she was like, I know. We were like laughing about it, and I'm like, that's crazy, your last name's made up. And she's like, yeah, I thought my dad was a CIA agent. And I was like, oh my God, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
So is that
But
one of the
she's
first
awesome.
times that there's been like, okay, what was the other side? Wow.
And I was always so curious about it too. Like her brother like kind of made a joke one year, like one of the first years we got together, about like when my grandfather was still alive, because now he's not alive anymore, but we were talking about like Christmas or the holidays or something, and her brother, so my grandfather's other set of children, he was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense, because he was with us for Christmas Eve and he was with you guys for Christmas. He's like, yeah, I never had a Christmas day with my dad. He was always working on Christmas. And we were all just like, huh. And like throughout the years we've like made like hilarious, they're hilarious, but we all have like that type of humor of like, no, we're
Yeah.
gonna laugh at our trauma. That's what we do. Like we roast
Yeah.
each other for it.
Same
So
with our family.
yeah, so thank
Yeah.
God they are like on the same like vibe with that. But yeah, it's crazy.
And is Grandpa still around?
I mean, he's at the cemetery down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he passed the year after Tony and I got engaged, 2014. Yeah, year before we got married. So because he wasn't at our wedding. So yeah, 2014.
So if you don't mind me asking, like, what was the relationship like that with everybody, like, once that came out?
I mean, my dad wanted to still have like, my dad is an amazing human. It's crazy. Like he wants to have, and so is my mom, obviously, but like, obviously it's my dad's family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like he said, he was like, you know what? This is the situation. We're not just going to cut him off. Like I still want to have a relationship with my dad. So like, we're going to meet them, and that's what's going to happen.
Wow.
And so we did. We, made like traditions with them and met them, and I could tell it was awkward I mean, I don't want to like speak for her, but I assume this is how she felt, is like, because think about it, like the other woman, I mean, my step grandmother is like in the background, like all these years, like she knew us. So her and my grandfather started like their relationship when my mom and dad like started their relationship. So like she's been there through like everything and like knows so much about us. And like my dad got in a really bad car accident once, and we were talking about that once like at dinner, and she said something along the lines of like, oh my God, I remember when that happened. And my dad was like, what? And she's like, yeah, your dad told me all about that. And I'm like, and it's still so weird to be like, oh yeah, you were like in the background, I guess, which that's kind of a messed up way to put it, because like you're not in the background obviously, but like it's
Yeah.
kind of like perception wise. Like that's kind of how my brain visualizes it.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did this to you. Crazy.
You guys, I was not prepared. I'm still not prepared. I'll be in the comments.
Hopefully this isn't what makes us go viral, or my dad's gonna be mad. It's all right. I'll write him a check if it does go viral. He'll be fine. He's okay. I'll buy him a bulldog. He'll be perfect. He loves bulldogs. He has two, Hazel and Mabel, and they are so fat.
Oh my God, I
Mabel's
love
fat.
that.
Hazel's not fat. They're so sweet. I love them so much.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Not really. Are you
do you
okay?
want to have a meeting about it? I'm okay. Girl, I went to inpatient. I went to outpatient. I went to inpatient again. I went to outpatient again. No, I'm fine. I'm all right. You just got to laugh at your trauma.
Yeah. And I operate the same way. So I understand that for sure. But wow.
Yeah. And your nipples look so good.
Well, they're always hard and they're always out. So I'm glad you guys are okay with. You need to finish this episode off. I can't talk. It's not even about me.
I think I've traumatized Sherilyn. So, hey, welcome to Trauma Hour. No, just kidding. So that's been the end of Chelsea's trauma. A little segment we like to call Chelsea's trauma. But what do we say? What was it? Damn the man, burn the empire. Save the empire.
And and I promise you all this, who got the reference and are like ride or die Empire Records stands out there like me. I said, well, Chelsea has a lot of plans for us when we go to Atlanta, but I have said that
gift bags, games, reels, content, bus,
matching outfits,
club, matching outfits.
Yeah. But I would like to sneak in, like maybe when like the cheese fries are just like hanging out of our mouths at the end of the night, to watch Empire Records together.
Hell
or
yeah.
Death Becomes Her. We'll choose one of them. But yeah, we're going to leave you now. We hope you guys are having going into a fabulous weekend. Yeah, I can't talk right now.
Well, we're professionals and it's 10 for, oh God, no wonder Tony came in. He's like, bitch, what are y'all doing? Why are you yelling in here? It's 10:42 and Sherilyn and I have to have a debrief meeting because I'm pretty sure I traumatized her with my childhood familial trauma.
I'm fine. I was like, oh my God, usually you like pre-read something, you just like understand, but I don't like, when you send me stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm going to hear that later. I still wouldn't have connected the dots, but
I was, and usually, but we both do, but I was really hoping that you wouldn't so that I could have that goose pimples moment, the goosebumps walk away, but I didn't walk away. I stayed. All right. Well, hey, damn the man.
Save the empire.
We love you. Stay feral. And we will see you in the next episode of Here for the Clout. Goodbye.
Bye.